In this video, I decided to do something a little bit special. I decided to just Google learn French or how to learn French and to comment on the most common results we find. So maybe this will help you find the right resources to learn French. So let's check the first thing, which is sponsored by Top 10. And let me give you my advice as a teacher who's been teaching for 10 years, specializing in conversation. So no, I will really have this angle of like how useful are these apps for teaching you conversation. So we have top 10 best ways. And so like the ways are only apps and paid products. Why not? The first one is Babbel. Babbel is an app for learning languages. So it has some interesting features like speech recognition. It has a lot of cool stuff. It's a bit like Duolingo, but for people who are slightly more serious. It's an app I don't really like personally. I don't think like it brings a lot of results. I never saw anything specifically. Mondly is kind of the same thing. Rosetta Stone has a terrible reputation. Maybe they have changed, but it's like it's really bad. It's really something that they marketed hard to the US market, and I found a lot of students from the United States learning with Rosetta Stone. Never saw any good success story with that. LingoPie, that's interesting. It's something to learn French while watching TV shows. I think it adds subtitles, it creates flashcards based on it. That's an interesting tool. That would be the first one I would recommend for learning, because you would have something that is closer to native material. It's good if you are maybe already at a pre-intermediate level. Then we are talking Preply. Preply is an online platform for where you can find teachers. Let's visit their website so it will be easier to understand. So you can find tutors and teachers on the platform. This is great because the most effective way to learn French, wait for it, it's gonna blow your mind. It's actually to speak French. Even more if you want to be able to speak French. If you want to just like learn to pass an exam, don't take lessons. If you want to take the B2 exam, don't take lessons. Practice for the B2 exam. These exams are bullshit, basically. Like you can take the C1 exam and prepare for it. It's just like mostly grammar questions. It's like it's an exam, you know. Exams are not like real life. You're not spending 90% of your time when you need to speak a language sitting down at a table without distraction to answer some questions. In real life, you have to have the reflexes, you have to have conversations. So if you want real life French conversation, Preply is great. Pimsleur, it's kind of not great, waste of time, very expensive, not interesting. Lingoda is similar to Preply in the way that you have lessons, but I think Lingoda has more like structured lessons, and that's exactly what you don't want, in the sense that every time you will feel like somebody is giving you, okay, it's easy. Look, if you want to learn French, we have like 20 lessons. If you follow each one of these lessons and you do your exercise and you understand the concept, you're going to speak French. This is bullshit. This is not how it works. It works very, like the way of learning a language is incredibly dumb. It's like, you know how to make the sounds that people make. All right, that's the basics. Pronunciation, it's really hard. And I fucked up my pronunciation early on learning English, and now I cannot recover from it. I will die with my French accent. But you have hope to nail pronunciation early. So pronunciation, speaking, like making the same sounds that people make, and then you learn phrases. I'm not kidding. This is exactly like kids learn. And yeah, of course, you can do other things, and people are going to say, if you only learn phrases, you will have bad grammar. You will have bad grammar anyway. You will always have bad grammar. Why? Because if you study grammar, you will not be able to use grammar when you speak. If you study grammar, you will be good at one thing. It's studying grammar and maybe doing grammar exams on the paper. Trust me, I have tons of students who teach me grammar, basically. Like most of the grammar I've learned as a native speaker, the grammar rules and how it works, it's from my students. They teach me grammar because they make a mistake. I say, oh, it's not how we say it like that. And then they explain to me why they make the mistake. And what's the rule? And I'm like, yeah, that's great. But knowing the rule doesn't help, clearly. Just like if you teach me on paper how to survive in a street fight and I can pass a written exam on what to do in a street fight, it is not going to help me in a real street fight. And that's basically my approach for language learning. You have to have the reflexes, you have to have the communication, you have to know how to handle the real life situations. Conversations are insanely stressful. You know it because it's stressful even when you're talking to somebody you kind of know, a friend of a friend at a party and you're drunk, you're already a bit stressed. So imagine in real life when you're speaking to French people who are angry and you're jet lagged and you really need information, you're not going to remember your grammar rules. You're not going to think about your grammar rules. So don't study anything with grammar. It's a radical opinion. Of course, I can explain that because I love grammar. I love grammar. Personally, I love linguistics and things like that. But I know that if you're a smart adult, you want that because it's extremely satisfying to learn. It's just like learning about, like concept like geopolitics, economics, programming, whatever the fuck you do, finance. It's intellectually satisfying as an adult because you're not taking risks. But language learning is like playing an instrument. It's like dancing. You use motor skills and your brain has to react in situations of a language conversation just in the way you would react in these situations. You cannot have time to think. You cannot have time to think using your slow brain, like your system 2 in your brain, to think about what you say. I'm going totally segue in this video. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I just wanted to say that learning grammar is not going to help you. That's it. This video was fun to make. That's it for today. All right, bye guys.